First up is Alabama. Some claim Alabama's flag is reminiscent of the Confederate battle flag, while others claim it represents the old Spanish cross of Burgundy, as this entire part of the country was once ruled by the Spanish Empire. Overall, this flag gets a 6 out of 10 for uniqueness, an 8 out of 10 for looks, and an 8 out of 10 for colors, placing Alabama firmly in the B tier.
But quite frankly, this is of course assuming that the flag represents the cross of Burgundy and not the sussy Confederate battle flag.
Next is the largest state in the Union, Alaska. The bottom left of Alaska's flag depicts a dipper constellation, and the top right represents the North Star, an excellent representation of America's most nature-dominated state. This flag gets an 8 out of 10 for uniqueness, an 8 out of 10 for looks, and an 8 out of 10 for color, making it our first A-tier flag on the list. Next, we move to the Grand Canyon state, Arizona. The top portion of this flag has 13 stripes representing the 13 original colonies of the United States. The bottom blue portion is a nod to the blue found in the national flag, and the red and yellow at the top represents the colors of Spain, and the copper star in the center represents Arizona's abundance of copper. Overall, this flag gets a 10 out of 10 for uniqueness, a 9 out of 10 for looks, and an 8 out of 10 for color, making it one of the best flags in the country. Next, let's check out the natural state, Arkansas. The border of the center diamond has 25 total stars representing Arkansas's admission as the 25th U.S. state, and the 4 stars in the middle represent Spain, France, the United States, and the Confederacy, the 4 nations that have ruled Arkansas. Also, the diamond itself quite literally represents the diamonds that Arkansas is known for producing. This flag gets a 7 out of 10 for uniqueness, a 5 out of 10 for looks, and an 8 out of 10 for color, giving it a solid C tier ranking. I think this flag would look much better if it simply dropped the name tag. Next, we head out west to the Golden State, California. The red at the bottom of this flag symbolizes courage, the white symbolizes purity, the bear represents strength, and the star represents statehood. This flag is called the Bear Flag and is based off of this original bear flag. California gets an 8 out of 10 for uniqueness, a 6 out of 10 for looks, and a 6 out of 10 for color, putting it right alongside Arkansas in the C tier. Next up is America's giant mountain rectangle, Colorado. The blue bands represent clear blue skies, while the white represents the state's snow-capped mountains. The yellow circle represents an abundance of sunshine, and the subtle C, of course, stands for Colorado. This flag gets a 9 out of 10 for uniqueness, a 9 out of 10 for looks, and a perfect 10 out of 10 for colors, giving Colorado an easy S tier ranking. After that, we head east to the great state of Connecticut. Connecticut's flag is quite literally just their coat of arms on a blue background. I hate to do it to you, but this flag gets a 1 out of 10 for uniqueness, a 3 out of 10 for looks, and a 3 out of 10 for color, giving it our first F tier ranking. Not too far away, we now move to Delaware. Listen, Delaware, we get it, you were the first state and home of Joe Biden, but all you did was stick your state seal on a weird shade of blue. This flag gets a 4 out of 10 for uniqueness, a 2 out of 10 for looks, and a 2 out of 10 for color, giving Delaware an abysmal F tier ranking. Honestly, just change your flag to this and you'll do much better. Next, let's see what the Sunshine State, Florida, has to offer. Yeah, that's right, Florida literally just took Alabama's homework and stuck their own seal on it. Florida gets a 5 out of 10 for uniqueness, a 6 out of 10 for looks, and a 5 out of 10 for color, giving it an average C tier ranking. I will admit, I really do like their seal though. Let's jump right across the border to the state of Georgia. This is the Confederate Stars and Bars, and this is the flag of Georgia, and I don't know about you, but I see a bit of a resemblance. They literally just stuck their seal up in the top left corner and called it a day, but at least it's not their 1956 to 2001 flag, which looked a little something like this. This flag gets a 6 out of 10 for uniqueness, a 6 out of 10 for looks, and a 7 out of 10 for colors, but due to the painfully obvious theft of the Confederate flag, Georgia is sadly sentenced to F tier status. I recommend they put a peach in the top corner, throw in some peanuts and a patriotic burger-loving eagle, and throw Atlanta in the background. Now that's a flag. Now let's take a trip to the Aloha State, Hawaii. There's a Union Jack in the corner, despite the fact that Hawaii was never a part of the British Empire, but this flag still looks pretty awesome. Hawaii gets a 9 out of 10 for uniqueness, a 9 out of 10 for looks, and an 8 out of 10 for color, giving it incredible A tier status. Next is America's potato factory, Idaho. Idaho's flag is their seal slapped onto a blue background with the little name tag at the bottom. I give it a 2 for uniqueness, 2 for looks, and 2 for color, sadly putting Idaho in the F tier. All Idaho has to do here is drop the seal and slap a fat potato on that bad boy. Now let's jump across to Illinois. This flag is the state seal on a white background with a name tag, but I will say that the eagle looks pretty cool. Overall, I give it a 5 for uniqueness, a 4 for looks, and a 3 for color, putting Illinois' flag in the D tier. Right next door is Indiana. Indiana's flag has 19 stars representing it being the 19th state, and a giant torch in the middle representing liberty. Indiana gets a 6 for uniqueness, a 7 for looks, and a 7 for color, putting it firmly in the B tier. Indiana should just remove the label and call it a day. Next up is Iowa. Iowa's flag shows a part of their state seal with this blue bar representing loyalty, justice, and truth, the white section representing purity, and the red bar representing courage. I give it a 5 for uniqueness, a 4 for looks, and a 4 for color, putting this flag in the D tier. Now let's start over to Kansas. This flag shows the state seal with a giant name tag so you don't get confused. I give this flag a 3 for uniqueness, a 2 for looks, and a 2 for color, giving the flag of Kansas an unfortunate F tier ranking. Let's just drop all this crap and throw in a nice sunflower and some gold bars to top it off. Next up is Kentucky. Kentucky's flag is, you guessed it, their state seal on a blue background. It gets a 2 for uniqueness, a 3 for looks, and a 3 for color, meaning Kentucky joins its Kansan brother in the F tier. All they need to do though is drop the state seal, slap on some KFC, and boom, you have a magnificent flag. Now let's look at Louisiana. Louisiana has its state seal on, guess what? A blue background with a pelican breastfeeding her children, I guess. This gets a 5 for uniqueness, a 5 for looks, and a 4 for color, meaning Louisiana fits right in the D tier. Now let's go all the way up to New England and look at Maine. This flag is the coat of arms on another blue background. This has got to be the most generic state flag I've ever seen. It gets a 1 1 for uniqueness, a 3 for looks, and a 3 for color, sadly putting Maine in the F tier. Maine's legislature is currently debating whether or not to change the current flag back to its previous 1901 to 1909 flag, which is a great idea. Now we look at Maryland. Maryland's flag has 2 special designs on it representing the Crosland and Calvert families who were linked to the state's founding. This flag gets a 10 for uniqueness, a 9 for looks, and an 8 for color, meaning Maryland gets to join Arizona and Colorado in the S tier. Let's jump right over to the Bay State, Massachusetts. The flag of Massachusetts is a pillowcase with the state seal taped to the front of it. It gets a 4 for uniqueness, a 5 for looks, and a 6 for color, giving it a solid C tier rank. Next is the Great Lakes State, Michigan. Michigan has, say it with me, a seal on a blue background, although it does have some big cats on it, which looks kinda cool. Overall, I give it a 3 for uniqueness, a 4 for looks, and a 3 for color, giving Michigan a D tier rank. Michigan has 2 peninsulas, so I think this flag I found on Reddit would be a nice replacement. It has 2 stars for the peninsulas and 5 stripes for each of the 5 Great Lakes. And now, everyone's favorite state, Minnesota! This flag is just another seal on a blue background. 3 for uniqueness, 2 for looks, and 2 for color. Minnesota, with its lost potential, goes into the F tier. Next, we head to the deep south to see Mississippi. In 2020, Mississippi changed its flag from this sussy flag to this. The new flag has 20 white stars as Mississippi was the 20th state, a large gold star representing the state's indigenous population, and a large magnolia, the state flower. This flag gets a 7 for uniqueness, 7 for looks, and 7 for color, giving it a nice B tier ranking. Next in line is Missouri. This flag has a total of 61 stars with the 24 in the center ring, representing Missouri as the 24th state. The red bar represents valor, the white bar represents purity, and the blue bar represents vigilance, permanency, and justice. Oh yeah, and someone decided to throw in the state seal, of course. This flag gets a 5 for uniqueness, a 5 for looks, and a 4 for color, giving Missouri a C tier ranking. Now let's take a look at Montana. Montana's flag is their state seal on a blue background and a name tag. I give Montana 2s across the board, unfortunately leaving this flag in the F tier. Next up is America's giant farm, Nebraska. Nebraska's flag is, you know what, I'm not even gonna say it. It gets a 1 for uniqueness, a 3 for looks, and a 5 for color, leaving it in the F tier. Honestly, Nebraska, just drop the seal and stick some corn and a John Deere on your blue background. Now it's time for Nevada. Nevada's flag is a blue background with not its state seal, thank the Lord. This flag gets a 4 for uniqueness, a 4 for looks, and a 5 for color, giving it an honestly decent C tier ranking. All Nevada needs to do is drop the corner thingy, throw in the Las Vegas Strip, Trump Tower, and some burning cash for an accurate depiction. Now we go to America's favorite Hampshire, New Hampshire. I think I'm starting to become deranged because this looks a whole lot like yet another state seal on yet another blue background. But at least they have a cool ring thingy surrounding it. Nonetheless, I give it a 2 for uniqueness, a 3 for looks, and a 3 for color, giving the best Hampshire in all of the United States an F tier ranking. Let's now move south to America's least favorite Jersey, New Jersey. This flag is the coat of arms plastered on a color I've literally never seen before, which apparently represents the facings of uniforms worn by New Jersey regiments during the Revolutionary War. I give it a 4 for uniqueness, a 2 for looks, and a 2 for color, meaning America's least favorite Jersey will join America's most favorite Hampshire in the F tier. Now we move all the way across the country to the state based off Breaking Bad. This flag is red and yellow, representing the colors of Spain, and has a sun in the middle representing the native Zia people of New Mexico. This flag gets an 8 for uniqueness, a 10 for looks, and an 8 for colors, giving New Mexico a well-deserved S tier ranking. And now we jump back across the country to the Empire State, New York. Yeah, this is exactly what you expect it to be. Coat of arms, blue background. I give it 2s across the board, giving New York a disappointing F tier. Maybe our next state, North Carolina, will get us back on track. The blue here represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice, the red represents hardiness and valor, and the white represents purity and innocence. The 2 dates on the side are related to North Carolina's independence from Britain, and the N and C, of course, stand for North Carolina. The star in the middle also represents North Carolina as a state. I give this flag a 4 for uniqueness, a 3 for looks, and a 6 for color, giving it a D tier ranking overall. To fix the flag, let's drop all those words and throw in 12 other stars for the 12 other original colonies. Then we can enlarge North Carolina's star and add a Mr. Beast thumbnail reaction to the side. Now let's check out North Dakota. This flag does not use its state seal on its blue background, but still has way too much going on in it and looks too much like a bunch of the other flags we've already discussed. Because of this, I have to give it 2s across the board and put it in the F tier. Next on the list is Ohio. Ohio's flag is the only non-quadrilateral flag in the entire country and has 17 stars representing Ohio being the 17th state. Also, this subtle O on the side stands for Ohio. This flag gets an amazing 9 for uniqueness, 9 for looks, and an 8 for color, giving Ohio an S tier ranking. Now we move on to Oklahoma. Oklahoma's flag does not use its state seal on its blue background and instead has an Osage shield, which represents the Native Americans of the state. And they of course added their name just in case you forgot. This flag gets a 4 for uniqueness, a 2 for looks, and a 2 for color, giving it an unfortunate F tier ranking. In order to improve, I think Oklahoma should take some design cues from the city of Tulsa, which still uses the shield but in a much cleaner design. Let's see if Oregon can pull off a better flag. Oregon practically has 2 flags in one, as the front of its flag looks like this while the back looks like this. Oregon's flag is just another seal on a generic blue background, but they went the extra mile to include their full full government name and date of birth, committing every flag crime in the book. Because of this, Oregon gets a 2 for uniqueness, 2 for looks, and 4 for color, leaving it in the F tier. I think Oregon should just use the back of its flag because this little beaver is cute. Now let's take a look at the Keystone State, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, like half of the other states, just put their coat of arms on a blue background. I give this flag 3s across the board and have to unfortunately shove it in the F tier. Next up is the set of Family Guy, Rhode Island. This flag has 13 stars for the original 13 colonies, as well as for Rhode Island being the 13th state. Meanwhile, the anchor and ribbon that says hope are references to this biblical quote. I give this flag an 8 for uniqueness, an 8 for looks, and a 7 for color, meaning Rhode Island goes firmly in the B tier. Now let's take a look at South Carolina. This flag features a palmetto, which is South Carolina's state tree, and a crescent that represents a shape often found on the hats of soldiers during the 18th century. This flag gets all 8s across the board and gets an excellent A tier ranking. Let's see if South Dakota can outdo South Carolina. They threw their state seal atop a blue background and then had the audacity to write not just their name, but their nickname too. Sorry, South Dakota, but I have to give you all 1s and 2s and put you in the F tier. Next up is Tennessee. This flag has 3 stars symbolizing the 3 grand divisions of Tennessee: East, Middle, and West. I give it a 9 for uniqueness and 8s for looks and color, meaning Tennessee goes firmly in the A tier. Now we move on to the Lone Star State, Texas. On this flag, blue represents loyalty, red represents courage, white represents purity, and the infamous Lone Star represents unity. This flag gets a 9 for uniqueness, a 10 for looks, and an 8 for color, putting Texas into the S tier. Excellent work, Texas. Let's now head over to Utah. Utah's flag is a seal on a blue background. Shocking. I give it a 2 for uniqueness and 3s for looks and color, meaning Utah goes in the F tier. But wait, because our beloved Utah has hope. As of now, Utah's flag is set to change from this current design to this new one. This new flag has a beehive representing Utah, which is the beehive state. It also has a star representing statehood and mountains representing Utah's majestic landscapes. Now let's take a look at Vermont. Please don't make me say it again. You already know what's happening here. This flag gets a 2 for uniqueness, a 4 for looks, and a 3 for color, giving it an impressive F tier ranking. Vermont should just go back to using its old flag from when it was briefly an independent country. Next on the list is Virginia. This flag looks like the logo of a cheap Greek restaurant, but it's just the state seal on a blue background. This flag gets a 1 for uniqueness, a 3 for looks, and a 3 for color, leaving Virginia a cozy spot in the F tier. Perhaps Washington can save our bad streak? Washington's flag is their seal on a green background. This flag gets a 4 for uniqueness, a 5 for looks, and a 3 for colors, and goes into the D tier because thank goodness it's not blue. Let's see what West Virginia has in store. This flag is the state coat of arms, and yes, it's on a blue and white background. This one gets a 4 for uniqueness, a 4 for looks, and a 3 for color, meaning West Virginia joins Washington in the D tier. Now, can Wisconsin pull off a good flag? This is the flag of Wisconsin, if you couldn't already tell by them putting their name and date like it's a school assignment. Yes, this flag uses the coat of arms and, repeat after me, a blue background. This flag gets all 2s and goes into the F tier. And last, and maybe or maybe not least, is Wyoming. The flag of Wyoming pictures an American bison, which is the state's official animal. But of course, Wyoming just had to stick their state seal on the poor bison. Nonetheless, this flag gets 7s for uniqueness and looks, and an 8 for colors, giving it a nice spot in the B tier. Not bad for a state that doesn't even exist. All Wyoming needs to do is get rid of that state seal, and this flag gets even better. Click here to watch 8 whole minutes of random geographical facts, or click here to watch what would happen if the Soviet Union reunited today. Be sure to also let me know if you agree or disagree with my rankings.